You know, that feeling, you finally got that day off planned. Maybe it's a holiday, time with family, or just quiet time.
Yeah, glorious quiet time.
And then work starts creeping in. That little email notification, the quick question call,
Uh,
it just threatens to pull it all away.
oh, absolutely. That push and pull. It's sort of the rhythm of modern life, isn't it? Between what we want to do and what we feel we have to do.
Exactly. And today, we're really diving deep with you, the learner, into someone's firsthand experience with exactly that struggle.
We've got this personal reflection. It's simply titled Pasted Text. Really raw.
Yeah, it gives us a real window into navigating that, that mental stress when your plans get potentially derailed.
And our mission today really is to unpack that, to look at the stressful thoughts, the uncertainty, but also how this person found some peace.
Right. What role did mindset, belief play in all of this? That's what we want to get into.
Okay, so let's set the scene. It's about, what, 3:30 in the afternoon. The next day is a paid holiday. Should be good.
Should be. But there's a snag. A colleague. Let's
Yeah.
call him Mr. X. He's supposed to work the early shift, but, well, he really wants the day off for family.
Okay, typical situation.
And our narrator feels a bit pressured, to try and convince Mr. X to come in because apparently it's an office requirement. It's awkward.
Uh-huh. Puts the narrator right in the middle, trying to uphold a rule versus someone's, personal desire. That's tricky territory.
And to make things worse, another colleague, Mr. Y, already skipped town. Last minute plan, used his regular days off. So the shift coverage is looking thin.
Right, the pressure mounts.
Then, around 7 p.m., the phone rings. It's Mr. X.
Okay.
He says his grandmother has passed away. He needs to go to his hometown.
Oh, wow. Okay, that changes things. But how did the narrator react?
This is where it gets interesting. The narrator calls this the trigger moment. And the immediate reaction wasn't sympathy, it was suspicion.
Suspicion, really.
Yeah. The thought was, and I'm quoting here slightly, now my mind thoughts that Mr. X is lying.
Hmm.
Now I only need to go to office tomorrow. This is repeatedly these both are doing with me.
Wow. Okay, so instant frustration and this feeling of being maybe manipulated or unfairly burdened.
Exactly. And like flipping a switch, the negative thought loop starts. That heavy feeling of, why me? Why does this always happen?
Ugh, that loop, focusing on how unfair it feels, how you have no control. It just spins and spins.
It's like being stuck on a hamster wheel in your own head, right?
Totally. And our brains kind of do that when we feel cornered, trying to solve it, but just digging the hole deeper sometimes with worry.
But here's where our narrator tries to, well, break the cycle. They consciously try to shift gears.
How? What did they do?
They mention using things like meditation, positive self-talk, trying really hard to just stay present, not catastrophize.
Okay, using those mental tools.
And then there's a specific phrase they started repeating. God, I surrender to you. What you want, that I will do.
Ugh, surrender. That's a big concept.
Yeah.
Psychologically, that can be powerful. It's sort of acknowledging, okay, I can't force this outcome.
Right, letting go of that need to control everything. And the narrator says it did bring a bit of calm, stability.
Tut-tut. It didn't last.
Exactly. Temporary relief. Because those anxious thoughts, they're persistent little things, aren't they? The loop came back.
Yeah, they often do. It's not usually a one-and-done fix.
So the narrator had to keep consciously bringing themselves back, repeating the mantra, if God want, I will go to office. If God want, then I will enjoy time with family. But, they say, mind chatter kept on coming.
It really shows the effort involved, doesn't it? It's active mental work to manage those thoughts, not passive.
Like constantly redirecting yourself.
Like, yeah, tending a garden. You've got to keep pulling the weeds, nurturing the stuff you want to grow. It's ongoing.
Okay, so they're in this state of trying to surrender, trying to manage the chatter, and then
And then something happens unexpectedly. Around 7:30 that evening, the production team calls
to say what?
to say the work plan for the next day is canceled.
No way. After all that internal struggle.
Yeah, talk about a plot twist. The timing is really striking. After that conscious effort to surrender, the external problem just resolves itself.
You can see why that would feel significant. Almost like an answer.
Definitely. And part of the narrator feels just, boom, this wave of relief, gratitude, huge weight lifted.
But only part.
Yeah, because another part, and they specifically mentioned due to previous experiences, is like, hold on a second.
The voice of past experience. Always cautious.
Exactly. The mind immediately jumps to the what ifs. What if they call back? What if the cancellation causes trouble? What if the boss gets angry?
So even with the good news, the anxiety doesn't just vanish. That past baggage is heavy.
It really is.
Yeah.
Our history creates these mental templates, and even good news can get filtered through old fears. Is this really okay? Can I trust this?
So what do? Just sit with the uncertainty?
Well, they try to get clarity. They call their manager. Understandable, right?
Makes sense. Get confirmation.
But the manager's response is vague. Something like, let's plan work tomorrow, or I'll call you back in some time.
Oh, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
That ambiguity would just fuel the fire.
Totally. Led to a restless night. The narrator mentions being awake, mind racing with those looping thoughts until like 1:30 in the morning.
Ugh, been there. Staring at the ceiling, mind going a mile a minute.
That lack of a clear yes or no just keeps the uncertainty alive, keeps the anxiety engine running.
So, a rough night. How do they handle the morning? Still feeling chaotic.
Well, despite the internal turmoil, they made a point of sticking to their routine.
Oh, interesting. What did that involve?
Things like meditation, chanting, spending time with parents, their established morning practices.
Ah, grounding themselves in the familiar.
Exactly. It's like an anchor, isn't it? When your thoughts are all over the place, routine can provide that sense of stability, something solid to hold on to.
So did they ever get that final confirmation about the cancellation?
Yes, eventually, but it was like super late. The manager sent a message at 1:22 a.m.
Middle of the night.
Right. And the narrator, probably groggy, initially misreads it. It took another call, this time to the production manager, to finally get the definitive, yes, it's canceled.
Good grief. Only then did they feel that sense of release.
A sense of release, yeah.
Yeah.
Though they note it wasn't like instant total calm, that mental tension takes a while to fully dissipate, even when the reason for it is gone.
That makes sense. The nervous system needs time to wind down.
Exactly. It stays on high alert for a bit.
So this whole roller coaster,
Hmm.
what did the narrator take away from it? Did they just move on?
No, and this is a really key part. They made a conscious decision to write the whole experience down.
To journal about it?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But the stated purpose was specific to solidify what they called a new neural pattern, to reinforce their belief in, well, they use the terms manifestation and divine intervention.
Okay, so using the writing process to consciously try and rewire their thinking based on this positive outcome.
Precisely. And they describe feeling calmer, more stable, more relaxed, even more confident while writing it down. Like the act of documenting and reflecting was therapeutic in itself.
That makes sense. Processing it, making sense of it, finding the meaning in it. It relates to that idea of neuroplasticity, right? Our brains can change based on experience and focus.
Absolutely. The writing helps integrate the lesson, making it more likely to stick.
So let's distill this. What are the big takeaways for us, for the listener, from this deep dive?
Well, first, it's a really clear illustration of how challenging situations can instantly trigger those old negative thought patterns, often based on past hurts or disappointments.
Our default settings, almost, go straight to worry or suspicion.
Exactly. Second, it really highlights the value of having practices ready before you need them. Meditation, mindfulness, gratitude. They're tools to calm that racing mind when things get tough.
They're not just nice-to-haves, they're practical coping mechanisms.
Right. Third, there's this powerful idea of belief and surrender. How trusting in something larger, or even just trusting your ability to handle things, can really shift your internal dialogue. More self-compassion, less fighting against reality.
A move from resistance to acceptance, maybe?
Something like that. A sense of flow, perhaps. And maybe the most intriguing part
Yeah.
is how cultivating that inner peace, even when things are uncertain externally, sometimes seems to coincide with situations resolving positively. Not magic, but maybe our internal state affects how we perceive and react.
It influences how we show up, which can influence outcomes.
Right.
And the narrator also mentioned specific things they felt grateful for, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Things like family being healthy and happy, having work that allowed flexibility and passive income, quality time travel, just an overall sense of abundance.
So actively focusing on the good stuff seems crucial too.
Definitely. Gratitude is a powerful reframing tool. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, which is a great buffer against anxiety. Simple, but really effective.
So wrapping this up, we followed this journey from that common anxiety about a disrupted day off through the mental spiral, the attempt at surrender, the surprise resolution, and then the conscious effort to learn from it.
Quite a narrative. And it really prompts a question for you, the listener, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation like that, where you were really anxious about something, maybe expecting the worst, and then it turned out okay? unexpectedly positive.
And if so, looking back, what role did your mindset, your thoughts and beliefs play in how you felt and acted during that time?
It's worth thinking about and maybe considering, how practices like mindfulness or connecting with whatever gives you a sense of trust or belief could help you navigate those inevitable moments of uncertainty we all face.
Because maybe the real takeaway isn't about controlling external events perfectly. We can't.
Yeah. Right. Perhaps the real magic, as the narrator might put it, lies in our ability to shape our internal world, to find that calm, that trust, even when things outside feel chaotic and unpredictable. That internal shift might be the most powerful thing we can cultivate.